What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubae here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I wanted to talk about somebody that's definitely not having a great day, and that's the person that ended up swallowing an AirPod. Yeah, that's right. Apparently somebody out there swallowed an AirPod and recorded their stomach sounds. Let's talk about it.
Nice rack and her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I think everybody who has AirPods at some point has dropped it somewhere and had the moment where you're like, oh my gosh, what if I lose it? Thankfully, most of us probably haven't lost an AirPod, but I think the weirdest place you can lose an AirPod is by swallowing it, you know, because I just don't really know how it ends up inside your body in the first place. I've never had an AirPod in my hand and been like, this feels like a fruit snack, better gobble down, but apparently that's why I'm not in this news article. Boston girl mistakenly swallows one of her AirPods, records stomach sounds. I guess if you've already swallowed the AirPod, you got nothing to lose, right? Like, you might as well try to record the stomach sounds, because it's already in you. You're not getting it back out in a very quick manner, and when you get it back out, chances are you're not going to want to put it in your ear again. So you might as well take the risk to record it a little bit, you know? Could you imagine you're sitting there with like a grater after a couple days trying to dig the AirPod out of whatever comes out of your body, and like you finally get it back out and it works? How much hydrogen peroxide and disinfectant would you have to soak that thing in before you would trust it again, bro? I'd have to sit that thing in a bleach smoothie for at least 47 years before I would let that thing back in my head. You know, I understand it's a disinfectant, it'll get rid of all the bacteria, but the mental image of knowing that that had been through my lower intestine is just not something that I need when I think about putting it near my brain. Apple AirPods have become a massive hit for the company since its inception back in 2016. Although the truly wireless earbuds from the Cupertino giant are known for the convenience factor, they're also known for their tiny, easy-to-lose form factor. However, it now seems like Apple AirPods are now also a danger to people who cannot distinguish between a painkiller and a wireless earbud, and a Boston girl swallowed one of her AirPods instead of ibuprofen, and we're not kidding. Alright, so I just want to say that, like, I hope she's okay, right? But now I'm going to make fun of her a little bit. How in the world do you confuse an AirPod with an ibuprofen pill, bro? Like, an AirPod is just so obviously a plastic thing with a rubber knob on the end of it, you know? Or it's an AirPod, like, it's like obviously an earpod feeling thing. That doesn't feel like an ibuprofen. Even those really big ibuprofens aren't shaped like that, man. Unless you were like half asleep trying to take this, I just don't know how this happens. Could you imagine, dude, by the time you realize you swallowed your AirPod, you have to be really trying to swallow that pill, because I feel like an AirPod wouldn't be easy to swallow either. It's kind of shaped like a fish hook. That thing would be getting stuck the entire way down. That would be like one of the most uncomfortable things to swallow of all time. I love how they mentioned like the easy to lose form factor. Yeah, easy to lose. Probably not very easy to eat though. You know, I feel like if you threw an AirPod in some eggs and scrambled it up, it would be hard for somebody to munch on. Could you imagine they just like lost it another way? They just didn't know how to tell their parents, right? Like they accidentally ran it over the night before. So they're like, well, okay, I'm just going to say that I ate it so that way my parents will like feel bad and get me a new pair. Because if I tell them that I ran it over, then they're definitely not getting me new AirPods. Whereas if you're like, oh, I have to take this medicine and I was so tired and it was an accident, maybe there's some new AirPods in your future, you know? I'm just trying to think of every possibility here because I'm trying not to hope that somebody literally just managed to swallow an AirPod instead of some pain pill. A TikToker from Boston named I Am Carly B recently took to her TikTok handle to share an educational video about her swallowing one of her AirPods after mistaking it for ibuprofen 800 medicine. The girl explained that she had the AirPod in her left hand and ibuprofen tablet in her right, and she was crawling into her bed. As I was crawling into bed, I had ibuprofen 800 in my right hand and an AirPod in my left hand. I threw something back, took my water bottle, took a sip, and realized it wasn't the ibuprofen. I tried puking it up and it won't come out. I just really am not. I understand it happened, but I don't get how it happened, bro. This just seems like such a debacle to end up swallowing an AirPod. I think the weirdest part of all of this is that, you know, they were like, yeah, whatever, I guess I'll record my stomach sounds somewhere in the midst of all of this. I feel like if I accidentally swallowed an AirPod, the last place I would ever want to talk about it is publicly online, right? Like, maybe it's just me that thinks I would be embarrassed. I don't know. If I swallowed an AirPod, I feel like I wouldn't want anyone to know that. I guess things have changed. People today just love to post everything on TikTok. I get it. Me personally, though, I would be like, oh, yeah, I lost my AirPod. How? Psh, man, fell out of my pocket. I would never want to admit that I ate it. You know the memes where it's like your mom looking at the doorway when you're sick and it's just the kid standing there like, I threw up? They had that this night, right? But instead of it being like, I threw up, it was like, Mom, I have to go to the hospital. I swallowed an AirPod. Because you never know what's going to happen with that in your body, right? I know they got batteries in them. I don't know what stomach acid's going to do to it, but like, I'm just not trying to take chances with some electronics in my body. The last thing you want is for like battery acid to meet your stomach acid down there. Obviously, you just got to go get it checked out. I'm assuming it's probably okay. The plastic is probably tough enough or whatever, but still, that's not something I'm trying to take my chances on. The parent wakes up. They're like, what? You did what? You swallowed what? How? When? Why? Huh? You get to the hospital, they're like, all right, what are you checking in for? Oh, I swallowed an AirPod. And they laugh. They're like, oh my goodness, you kids with your sense of humor. Seriously, what are you in here for? And you're like, no, I swallowed an AirPod. They kick Granny out of the x-ray machine, bro. They're like, listen, we understand that you might have a broken hip, Grandma, but get out the way. There's an AirPod. We've got to get evacuated. Now, although the left earbud of the girl's AirPod was in her stomach, it did not stop working. In another video shared later, they said that while her earbud was inside her stomach, it was still connected to her phone, and she sent a voice memo to one of her friends that included gurgling sounds from her stomach recorded by the swallowed AirPod. Following the incident, the TikToker confirmed that the earbud went out of her body naturally without getting it digested, and she did an x-ray to confirm it was not inside of her body anymore. This is definitely gonna be one of those stories that like the x-ray tech shares when people are like, what's the weirdest thing anyone's ever come in and for an x-ray for? You know, oh, I had one guy that like ended up with a firecracker inside of his thigh, and then one lady swallowed an AirPod and we had to do an x-ray to make sure that it wasn't inside of her intestines anymore. Somewhere down in the sewer system right now is an AirPod, dude. Someone like flushed a goldfish, right? And at the same time, the AirPod was down there, and now he's just sitting there listening to some tunes, bro. He's got some Billie Eilish going down in the sewer. Theoretically, it's down in the sewer, so the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles could find it, right? Do you think they're big fans of Apple products? Do you think Michelangelo's got an iPod Touch that he's gonna try to hook up the AirPods to, only to find out that they're too new? Seriously, though, be on the lookout when you're dealing with electronics to not swallow them. I understand that that's probably something not a lot of you guys need to be reminded of, but be careful out there. It's the things that sneak up on you got to be careful of. You know what I mean? You never got to be worried about the obvious stuff you're always prepared for. It's the AirPod pretending to be an ibuprofen pill that's really going to sneak up on you and ruin your day, make you spend a day of December up in the hospital, and trust me, that's not something you want. Christmas vacation's coming up. You want your AirPods to be listening to stuff. You don't want to be hearing your stomach gurgling sounds. Do you think the friend enjoyed that? I don't know how I would feel if I was just vibing on the phone and all of a sudden I got sent like... But yeah, anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the video. And of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on notifications. If you really want to help me out, I'll put a link to the intro song down below, along with the link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, and of course, you could use code Scrubae at the G Fuel checkout. You get a discount on G Fuel. It helps me out. I'd really appreciate it. And last but certainly not least, I just wanted to take a second to shout out my Spotify that I put the story times up on. That link's going to be in the description. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already. And of course, you can get yourself the Karen Christmas sweater. That link's going to be at the top of the description. Be sure to check that out and get it if you haven't already. It's pretty freaking cool if I do get to say so myself, and it makes Christmas awesome. And yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.